Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. I'm sure you have read the title. I wanted to go over the games I will be playing in 2026. I will have a list of non-negotiables and then a list of negotiables. That being said, the negotiables are pending, or will they come out? Will I have time? Is there any drama around them? I don't know. They're negotiables because things can come up. So without further ado, let's get into the non-negotiable games I will be playing in 2026. Starting off hot with a game coming out in the next couple of weeks here is Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I'll never be able to say that word. So this is a game, or I should say a franchise, that I've always seen from a distance that I've never really had interest in. However, recently I'm a big Smosh guy. I like watching Smosh. In the most recent, well, I don't know if it's recent, but I saw Smosh Games play 7 and 8. I watched the whole playthrough and I enjoyed my time. I don't know why, but when it comes to like scary games, I've never resonated with them. I always thought like, oh, I don't like scary movies, I don't like scary games, blah, blah, blah. But watching them play it, it kind of fixed the wiring in my brain, whereas in like, it's okay to be scared. Some of it can be goofy, but like, it's more about the thrill than anything. I don't know why. I don't know why when it comes to scary things, I'm like, oh, that's not for me. But then when I watched them play it, it was kind of refreshing. I was kind of like, oh, this is fun to watch. And they kind of made it fun for me in a way, because I've always associated scary games with like, oh, demonic, I don't want it, but we'll stay away. But it actually looks pretty sick. So I did some research on what games I need to play before 9, and a lot of people were saying like, you really don't need to go back and play anything. But with the return of Leon in the 9th entry of the series, I wanted to know his story so I could feel the impact of him coming back. And the biggest thing, and the most common thing I found, was that I need to play 2 and 4, specifically Leon's campaign. If you didn't know, I'm playing through 2 right now. There's actually 2 campaigns. There's Leon's, and then there is Redfield's sister, Claire, I think is her name. You could play her campaign. Depending on how short they are, maybe I'll play both. I'm not sure if I need to, but with that being said, it's coming out on Switch 2. And I have a video coming out about what the Switch 2 has done for my life to this point right now. But if it's coming out on Switch 2, I really want to play it on Switch 2, especially if it's a playable version, which I've seen so far that it is. I'm pretty excited for it. That's game number 1. Now, game number 2 is 007 First Light. This is a non-negotiable for me because I love 007. I watched all the movies. I actually rewatched them recently, and then this announcement came out for this game, and I'm so excited. And it's made by the team that made Hitman, or the Hitman series games. I've never dove into those, but I think it's a match made in heaven with 007 and those types of games, and as well coming to Switch 2. The only saving grace that my other consoles have at this point is if Xbox adds it to Game Pass and I don't have to pay for it. Maybe that's something I have to think about now. But the ability to play these games on the go for me is what makes some of these games non-negotiable. If I could play the new 007 game handheld on my Switch on the go, that's really exciting. I'm really excited to see a refresh in the 007 series. I don't think we've received any 007 games in quite some time, and I just love that world, the franchise. I love everything about the secret agents, 007, M, all this stuff. I eat it up. So this is just something non-negotiable. Day 1, I'm picking up and I will be playing. Next on our list, no surprise here, it is the Generation 10 of Pokemon. Whenever they decide to announce it and release it, I got a good fuzzy feeling about it's probably coming out this year, if I had to guess. I've seen a lot of leaks, and it looks like the games might be called Wind and Wave. As you know, they come out with 2 games every single launch. I usually get the double pack. Pokemon's usually a day 1, I wait at GameStop midnight release type of thing for me. I never really miss it. And if you've been keeping up with my 3D printing journey, you would know that I printed this Giratina right here. That's absolutely sick. Big Pokemon fan, we all know this. Pokemon's been my life. I love Pokemon. Yes, the new Pokemon game comes out. Kanashi plays the new Pokemon game. That's just what it is. Do I need to explain it any further to you that I like Pokemon? I don't think so. Let's move on. Next up is the new Wolverine game. And when this trailer dropped, I was hyped. Wolverine and Spider-Man are probably my favorite two superheroes. And guess what? They each got a game by Insomniac, and I'm pumped. Although this Wolverine game looks a lot more gruesome than any of the Spider-Man games, and I love that. Wolverine is not a Peter Parker superhero. He is, if you've read the comments, if you watched the movies, Wolverine is a badass, dude. And I cannot wait for this game. It's gonna give me a chance to dust off the old PlayStation that I just bought dark plates for to match my setup for I don't know why, because I was ordering a D-brand case for my Switch and the dark plates were like 30 bucks, so I got them. But like I said, good opportunity to plug in the old PlayStation 5 again. I have a launch edition PlayStation 5, not even a Pro, whatever. It should run fine, I would hope. But again, something I'm super excited for. Day one's coming out. I will be taking off work. I will be playing this game. And now the last on the non-negotiables, none of this was really in order, but this is probably really high up there, and that is the new Fire Emblem game, Fortune's Weave, announced for this year. I don't think there's a release date yet, but I am a huge Fire Emblem fan. I went through the ones on GameCube that got released for Switch 2 on NSO. My favorite one being Awakening. I just ordered a brand new copy of that. And Fire Emblem, I got put onto Fire Emblem when I was like 12 on my 3DS with Awakening. I think it was the first one that I played. It changed my life, dude. And tactical RPGs, like I eat those up, right? I actually just had a Final Fantasy Tactics playthrough, and man, that game is so good. And I'm hoping that Fortune's Weave could reach that element of like story, gameplay that we've been missing with the most recent entries like Engage. Engage is a very fun game, but the story is not there for me. I don't like the whole Colgate protagonist look with the red and blue. Is what it is, not for me. I like the old school, medieval, I don't know if it's medieval, but Fire Emblem, knights, dragons, like hardcore Fire Emblem back in the day. That's what I like, and it looks like it's a return to form in that sense with Fortune's Weave, and I'm really excited for it. Now, what better way to kick off the maybes than GTA 6? Obviously, this is a maybe because maybe it comes out this year. But that being said, if it does come out, it instantly becomes a non-negotiable for me. However, that is up in the air. I think it's safe to say. Every time Rockstar posts a new release date, it's less and less reliable. So my hopes are not that high that it's coming out this year. Maybe I want to keep my expectations low, so if it does come out, I'm a little more excited about it. But like I said, if it does come out, instant non-negotiable play. I gotta play. GTA 5 was my life growing up. It came out 2013, I think, 2012. I was a wee lad. I was also 12. And it was my first game into the GTA series. I think it's my only game into the GTA series, really. And GTA Online, me and my friends, we were kingpins. Back in the day, we hurt some people. We were very bad. We had an online mafia group. We would hunt people down. We took it like a job. We would receive money to do things in GTA Online and hurt people. But with all that being said, let's move on to the next game. So the next game is Ghost of Tsushima Yotai. And this is a maybe because maybe I'll get around to it. Honestly, after playing the first game, the bar was set really high, and that's probably a top 5 game for me. And I've seen some things about the sequel that aren't too well received, which is fine. I want to play it. Nothing's stopping me from wanting to play it. It's more so if I'm gonna be buying a game, I don't think it's a priority on my list right now. And it's also a 40-50 hour game. Again, I also don't use my PlayStation as much, so there's less temptation on the PlayStation Store. You know what I mean? If you're interacting with like your console every day, and as you do, you'll typically peek at the store, see what's on sale. it's not staring me in the face as if like I was playing my PlayStation every day, whereas I'm on my Switch 2 every day and I'm always in the eShop looking at deals for different games. You know what I mean? It's just a different dynamic that I've had for a while now. But if I have time and maybe there's a sale or it gets added to PlayStation Plus, I probably will end up picking it up and playing it and probably loving it. It's just something that is pretty low on my priority list right now. Next on my list is Forza Horizon 6, and I have a mixed feeling. I have mixed feelings about racing games in general. I've yet to find one that I truly love. Like, I come from Mario Kart growing up, and even Mario Kart World I fell out of pretty quickly. And I like getting into racing games. I think they're really cool, especially when they look really nice and the controls are really nice. Maybe I'm just bad at them, I don't know. But I never really enjoy playing them as much because maybe I get bored. I don't know. Maybe it's not for, maybe they're not for me. However, I did play Forza Horizon 5 and I did have fun with it. But I think the setting of Japan for the next game in the series, I think that is something that will spark me to play it, because JDM is my stuff, dude. Like, I love the setting. I think it's really gonna be really cool. It's just, I never usually pick up racing games. Like, I never really have the craving to play racing games. So if I get around to it, I will, and I'm sure I'll like it. But yeah, maybe this is the first racing game that I'll pick up and actually love. Moving on to Monster Hunter Stories 3. This was recently announced. I think it's actually coming out in March, coming up. I could be wrong, I don't know. I love Monster Hunter. I think it's plain and simple. I love Monster Hunter. I played 1 and 2 stories, and they're fun. It's Pokemon meets Monster Hunter. It's my vibe. It's my vibe. Two of my favorite franchises, kind of like having a baby, and which is ironic because in this game you could have like dragon babies if you really wanted to. And yeah, I'm excited for it. Again, it's just something that is not really high in my priority list. Like I'm listing, this whole video has 10 games in it. And in 2025, I couldn't tell you, I don't think I beat 10 games in 2025. You know what I'm saying? So I've maybe played 10, but beat 10 stories you need to beat because it's a story. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's up there. I want to play it if I get around to it. However, it's in the maybes because it just falls into the category of I might not get to it. And now last on the list is Dispatch for Switch 2. Looks pretty sick. This game I think is an older game that got recently ported to Switch 2. And I wanted to pick it up because I've never played a Telltale game and it actually looks up my alley. Like, I like the show Invincible. So it's like a Telltale game based in like an Invincible type of world, like that kind of humor and superheroes and stuff, which I really like. But I think I'm holding off until there's some clarity on the sensory issues. If you don't know, the game on Switch 2 censors a lot of like the adult stuff, like graphics, cursing, blood, gore, all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, if I'm playing a game, I don't want to feel like I'm playing it on a kid's console. You know, games are built with intention, and if I'm supposed to see a guy like bleeding out, like I want to feel that emotion. I want to be there watching that in a weird way, if that makes sense. I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer or nothing, but like you play horror games or you play anything else, you want to feel the emotion, the connection to what's going on the screen. And if there's a big black bar or blur blocking out like what's going on, I'm gonna feel disconnected. And if they fix that, maybe I'll get around to it. But like, again, low on the priority list, and that's something I'm looking at. Well, that is it, everybody. That is my list of games that I have non-negotiables and negotiables for 2026. And again, it's still young in the year. Maybe there's some games that are coming out we don't know about. Maybe there's some shadow drops. But who knows? We'll see. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the list. Leave a comment down below. What are your non-negotiables for this year? What are you playing? What's your absolute favorite game coming out this year that you need to play? Let me know. And without further ado, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.